Dead Rising 2 is definitely the perfect sequel. Hi, welcome back to the channel, and this is why Dead Rising 2 is the perfect sequel. I remember I made a Dead Rising 1 retrospective, and I talked about how Dead Rising 1 had mechanics that I appreciate now, because when you play the sequels, you realize that they were fine-tuned and perfected, so you can forgive them and basically laugh at what used to frustrate me. This first video is definitely going to be about the gameplay, the second one's going to be about the story, but time to move forward. Might as well start with the AI, because in the first game, I used to have to count heads and babysit this AI. I used to have to tell them in my head that not every single one of you are going to make it, because you just don't have what it takes to survive. And a lot of it doesn't. The AI in the first one was clunky, it got distracted, it would stop in its path to fight a group of zombies only to get torn to shreds, and I just didn't feel bad for it. But in this one, it has a survival instinct to actually make it to the safe house. Like in the first one, you know not every survivor is going to make it, but in the second one, you basically realize that every survivor is going to make it, unless you force it into a corner and surround it with like 200 plus zombies only to see the animations of someone being turned into one of the undead. This AI is pretty much zombie proof. Now, I wasn't as incentivized to look after these survivors nowadays, because like the leveling system in Dead Rising 1, yeah, they are part of the leveling system, but you can gain a lot more experience through this leveling system, at least, by using combo weapons and XP farming, basically. You could tell it was the same formula, just had a different flow to it, just on different ways you can level your guy up. If you wanted to run around on a slice-cycle for 24 hours and rack up as much XP as you could, just to level up quickly, I think that's a better option for XP than looking for survivors. But also these scoops for these survivors, all of the frustration and headaches really got taken away. In the first game, I found myself having to time every sort of message that came from the communications network, only because you had to set aside probably 10 or 15 seconds just to make sure you didn't get hit and have to get reminded by Otis that you were being rude, and then the same story again and again and again. This one, it's sent in a format where you can skip through it, and the scoop is just on that menu for you right off the bat. It just made the game more fast-paced, free-flowy, and it just seemed like not everything was a pinch or a stressful heart attack just to get a perfect run, if that was your goal. And speaking of combo weapons, let me tell you that these combo weapons have been the bright and shining armor of the night that is this game. If you play such a cult classic like Dead Rising 1 and you think, how are they going to top this? You play Dead Rising 2 and look into the development on how they always wanted to do combo weapons. And I don't think there was a time that I ever picked up a weapon that wasn't a combo. Now you can, there are still plenty of options, just like firearms in the game. This time you can actually walk around as you shoot. But there was no better satisfaction than taking nails to some MMA gloves, making tenderizers, and then basically becoming a Chuck Liddell in a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. I mean, Fortune City, not Las Vegas. But let me tell you something about Fortune City is it is a much bigger and different map. Different feel, not bad, just more open than you got in Willamette Mall. Willamette Mall really had a cramped and boxed in feeling, which definitely fit the tone of the game. Dead Rising 2, this map gives a whole different tone that still works, but it's still a different flavor. It's very open, but there's still a big sense of danger, especially when the gas comes in and you have to deal with the gas zombies. The danger goes up a lot. But you do have gas zombies, you have looters, you have a lot of different people, and a lot of this comes into having different types of enemies to fight. They still try to keep that relatively fresh, just like the cult members and special forces of the first one, but they just tried to shake it up a little bit and really give us something different. And that's what Dead Rising 2 is so perfect for, is just being different, yet still being awesome. And to add to that, they have a money system that is completely optional. You don't really feel hard-pressed to use it, but if you want to gain a lot of money from the slot machines, hit jackpots, and then use that money to buy Zombrex, which is a drug, aka resource, that has been added to the game for the story purposes and for survivors who have been bitten. It is a drug that was introduced in overtime mode in Dead Rising 1, but has been rebranded in this universe as a very expensive pharmaceutical drug. And that actually is going to dip way into the story when I cover it in the next video. But to close off with this whole money system, I gotta say, I never felt like I was forced to, but when I wanted to take part in it and the pressure wasn't there, which is always nice, I guess I just loved it. It seemed like it was useful in some senses, but it wasn't the main focus. It was just a nice little seasoning to the steak that was this game. But if that's one thing that made this game so awesome, is it wasn't so forced, but the options were there and they were very enticing and they made you want to be a part of having this stuff. Not forcing you to have combo weapons and money and all this stuff, but they made the options available there, because you could go throughout the game and never use a combo weapon in your life. But when you look around and you see those workbenches, good luck not using one. When you go around and you see those slot machines, good luck trying to not get money. It actually gets you this feeling of want, differentiations. It is all different and it all feels so amazing. That's the gameplay, but I'll see you guys in the story video.